Live from the last door in the left store. Wait, I'm sorry. The Alex Duffy Studios in sunny Santa Monica, California. It's the Alex Duffy Show, starring Alex Duffy, with this week's special guest, Andy Jeselnik. And now, a man who will never do a Barbara Walters special in his life, Alex Duffy.
Life, it's all about you. It's all about me. We're all that we have, and all we can see. So give us your best shot. It's all that you got. Might not be a lot. That's all there is to life. Yes.
All right.
All right. Wow, the new video switcher. Fancy stuff. Fancy stuff. All right. Turn off this old primitive analog equipment.
I think it's buzzing a lot, man.
That was a really good song.
Well, thank you.
Just make that up as you go.
Yeah. Just now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Anthony actually.
Anthony, I'm sorry. Damn
That's
it.
all right.
What did he call you?
Andy.
Andy.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
Maybe he's thinking Andy Warhol.
I get it a
Pittsburgh.
lot. Yeah, that's true.
And he was from Pittsburgh.
That's how people mix it up usually. Two people from Pittsburgh with A's in the names. Idiots do that a lot though, so don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. It's totally cool. But no, seriously, sweet song.
That's
sweet
cool.
song.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Very dark.
Yeah.
Very dark. You know, but what can you do? But let me just say, folks, it is November 11th, Veterans Day. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I just wanted to say hi to all the veterans. Hi, veterans. And okay. Hey, for me, it means a day off from my day job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I make so much money from the show, but not quite enough to quit the day job yet.
Yet.
And I cannot think of anything in the news that is really worth discussing. I want to go right to our guest because he's funny.
Really? There's nothing in the news worth
Is
discussing?
there anything in the news?
I got
worth
something.
You got something? Okay, go for
Have
it.
you guys seen the Paris Hilton video?
No, not
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
No.
Oh, is it good?
After looking on Kaiser for like a year, I finally got it. It's awesome.
Really?
It's like a dark cam. What do you call it? Like not infrared, but it's like a green kind of hue or whatever.
Oh, cool.
But it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Definitely.
What is it all about?
It's about her having sex with a guy.
Paris Hilton?
Yeah.
Who is that?
You know who Paris Hilton is?
Oh my God! Somebody give me a.
He's got a
current
picture.
history. Yeah.
No. It's a phone call. I don't want to be rude.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I just want to text message somebody real fast.
Yeah, go for it. This is the modern
That's cool.
age. This is
Yeah.
the modern age.
This sucks. Okay.
Cool.
No, Paris Hilton is the really hot blonde girl, super skinny. Doesn't have any talent or anything.
Right.
But had sex with a guy, and now it's been released on video. She's the Hilton of like the Hilton Hotel, the family. So really rich, and it's if you like to masturbate, then definitely check it out. It's
Well,
very
then
cool.
Alex will have to be all over that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, that's one advantage of being married is you don't have to masturbate.
Ah.
In fact, your wife will notice.
Yeah, that's not what I hear. I read a lot of Playboy Advisor, and they usually say it kind of kicks out.
Masturbating goes up. Well, it hasn't been a problem with Alex yet, anyway.
That's cool.
Now, I have your fact sheet, which we're going to go through really quickly.
The fact sheet. Hit me
Yes. Anthony Jeselnik, the name.
Jeselnik.
Jeselnik.
We either get your first name or your last name
Now, okay,
wrong. One of the two.
Where does Jeselnik come from? What kind of name is it?
Jeselnik, I'm told, is an Americanized Austrian name. It used to be Jeselnik,
Okay.
but then when they came over, it went to Jeselnik.
Some guy just, Ellis Island's like, okay, Jeselnik,
Yeah,
next.
exactly.
And that was it.
That's what I hear. So Jeselnik apparently is a common name in Austria, but not so much here. Everybody messes it up.
And does everybody say Jeselnik like we have, or do people usually get Jeselnik right?
People say Jeselnik. Most people get the Anthony right. I know it's difficult, but they usually hit that on the head. But Jeselnik, I always get Jeselnik. When I graduated college, my whole family's there. I walk across the stage and Anthony Jeselnik, and it's, what do you do? I was going to change it. My middle name's Matthew. I was going to be Anthony Matthews for stage name.
Right.
But then I was like, screw these people. I'll make them remember my name.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Beat it into them until.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Class joker, but not class clown.
Exactly. I lost out the class clown to a friend of mine who was just kind of goofy, stupid stuff in class. And I was more like the sarcastic, just always throwing out like one-liners and stuff. And my football coach told me one year, he said, Anthony, because I could never shut up in the huddle or anything. And he said, Anthony, you're not the class clown. you're the class joker. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? You know, he's a football coach. He didn't know anything.
Right.
And he said, you know, the class clown is the guy who runs across the football field naked at halftime.
Right.
The class joker is the guy who talks him into it. And that's where I'm coming from. You know, that's what I'm all about.
Very important difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, how was New Orleans? You were there for 4 years, right?
I was there for 4 years for college, and it was exceptional. I'd never been to New Orleans before I went to college there. I just wanted to go and but when I went to college, I wanted to drink for 4 years. And if you're going to drink for 4 years, you might as well go to a place where the bars don't close, where everything's sweet. And it was great for 4 years, you know. Got arrested a couple of times, joined a fraternity, hung out, you know, just did the scene. Arrested twice.
For what?
Actually, twice. I totally missed out for years, and then twice in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Was just for drinking in public or something?
No, once for riding on top of a car about 4 in the morning. It was. I told the cop that all the seats were taken, but he didn't care. And I was pretty drunk, so I went to jail for that. And then like a week later, and it was fun because I was drunk in jail. You're in the New Orleans drunk tank. Lots of wacky characters in the drunk tank.
Right.
So it was fun.
A rich mind of comedy material, really.
Exactly. I met a lot of crackheads that night, which are always good connections. And then like a week later, I broke into a fraternity house because it was like a rival fraternity to go like steal a foosball table.
Oh, wow.
And they caught us, and we kind of got in a little fight or whatever. And then the cops came and arrested us that night, and that wasn't so much fun.
Was that breaking and entering?
It was criminal trespassing, I think was the charge.
Ooh, wow.
But if you're going to get arrested and spend a night in a drunk tank, be drunk. It makes it
really
so much
drunk?
more fun. Yeah, be as drunk as you can because it'll just wear
Did
off.
you go to regular jail the second time?
No, it was the second time actually. They put me in like the other tank, not the drunk tank, and it was kind of weird. There were some
all the crazy guys in there.
much crazier than the drunk tank. But then they switched us over, so it was cool. That was cool.
Well, those are some quite. I mean, those are pretty adventurous times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
then you got out of that and you came to LA.
I came to LA and I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep it going, you know, keep the A train rolling along. And I got here and I found out my first night, bars close at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they don't do that in New Orleans. They don't have to close. They'll be open all night long.
Nice.
So it was pretty weak.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's
Bars
awesome.
should be open
It's like
24
awesome.
hours.
And no one drives in New Orleans. Everyone drives here. So it's like, you got to go to a bar. It closes at 2. How are you supposed to meet women? You know, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Not
It's
only that, but the
impossible.
cops sometimes like will park near the bars and
Exactly.
people get in their cars and they're like,
Yeah,
here's
definitely.
their quota. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
So it's not as much fun to party here. I thought it'd be more fun, but it's the bars aren't all that.
Well, this is a town that's much more about image.
Yeah.
This is a
yeah.
town about the kind of car you drive, how much money you make, where you live. This is a real
Connections in the industry.
Yeah, all
and,
that stuff is just almost suffocating here, and women are all over that, unfortunately.
Well, thanks, guys. I've only been here for 2 years, so it's good to finally find that out. And now I know what I've been doing wrong.
No, actually, you did the right thing because you were working on American Dreams.
Yes.
You came here and got right into Hollywood, right on a TV show.
Actually, I worked for a year in retail, and then went into
retail.
What kind of retail?
I worked for Borders Books for a couple months. No,
As retail goes, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I actually worked there for 3 months before I got fired, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It wasn't that big a deal. I was just stealing and coming in late all the time, but still. And then I managed at an Abercrombie and Fitch for a few months, and I was probably the worst employee they've ever had. Yeah, a manager, but that you got to deal with so much crap. You got to deal with just like customers coming in and they don't like certain things, and you've got to deal with all this stuff. And when you're an employee there, you just kind of screw around. But if you're a manager, you've got to deal with customers all the time.
I want to see the manager.
Yeah, yeah.
You come out.
Yeah.
Did you just go out there and just kick ass, or?
No, I would just walk out and just kind of mumble to myself until they'd go away. I hated it. I wasn't an Abercrombie guy. I didn't care, and that didn't last too long. And then American Dreams,
Oh, there you go.
where I was an accounting assistant. It's pretty boring stuff.
I know all about it.
Yeah.
All about accounting.
It's good. I was the guy who worked there who like everyone was always like, why do you work here? What do you do? And I never really had an answer. So after a year, I got fired from there too.
Well, when I was younger, I got fired from all kinds of jobs.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah. After a while, you just learn to sort of knuckle under,
Yeah.
and you just rebel in quiet ways that are undetectable.
Yeah.
Because you learn after a while that the best thing you can do at a job is to kind of be invisible.
Uh-huh.
Because if you don't care about the job, then why draw attention to yourself?
Exactly.
And there's lots of ways where I think if you learn it after a while, you just learn how to do all your work in an hour a day, and you learn to look busy the rest of it.
See, I wish I was smart like that. But when you're the class joker, you've always got to be running around throwing the jokes to people. and then they know.
When did you
just
decide to
don't
go
really-
into comedy full time as a profession?
Actually, when I first came out to Los Angeles, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I met with a guy named Jim Brogan, who, I don't know if you know him, he was the head writer of The Tonight Show for many years.
Wow.
And he went to college with my dad. And he was the first guy I met. I didn't know who he was or what was going on. Yeah, and he hasn't helped me at all. But he told me, that stand-up comedy is a good way to get into writing and comedy writing.
Right.
I was like, screw that. I see comics. It just seems kind of like a cheesy thing. I don't want to do it. And then after working retail for a year, I figured, what do I have to lose? You know, who cares?
Yeah.
So I started getting into it, and I really started to enjoy it. I started out doing kind of like story stuff, like kind of the stuff you see everybody doing. Like my wife's crazy. Ooh, look at this.
Right.
But then I just started going straight for the jokes, like darker, just kind of one-liners and four-liners, if you will.
We're going to watch some of that. You guys brought in tape, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see.
You're gonna bring that up now,
Let's
huh?
bust it out.
We have a tape.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a minute of me, and then the rest is the Paris Hilton tape. I think it should be tight. It should be tight.
All right, we'll see if I can cut to that and make it actually work here. Bear with me.
We have a brand new video switcher, so
Yeah.
we will see how it works. And you may not be able to hear it, by the way. Us may be able to hear it. They can hear it. They can.
Okay.
On TV, now, they can hear it.
What is it not working?
It's working. We see it.
Oh, you see it.
You see it. Yeah, it's
all right,
okay.
cool.
You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He will hear it, and he'll.
Means is that she wants to have an abortion, then I'm going to sit her down and explain to her that life begins at conception and abortion is murder. And then I'm going to move to another city. I think that's how you handle that one. Take notes. Did you laugh at that one? I've been judging this girl. Black girls don't just laugh for the hell of it. Black girls be like, oh, I don't get it, but it's funny. I don't know. I was in a mall the other day, and this woman runs up to me frantic, and she screams, hey, have you seen my 3-year-old son? He's wearing a red hat and blue overalls. And I was gonna tell her, I had just seen her kid being carried off by this homeless man. But she already seemed pretty upset.
You like it?
I think.
What was your favorite
No,
joke?
no.
Cool.
Well, remind me because obviously we couldn't hear it in the studio.
Remind you?
Yeah. No, I mean not remind me. Tell
Do a
me.
recap on that.
Well, I had that sweet crack whore joke, which is really good. The kids like that. Did you like that joke?
That was fabulous.
Fabulous.
That was good.
Tell us the crack word. Tell us in person now.
So for all the people who've seen it, I can repeat it.
Yeah,
okay.
go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
I've got a girlfriend, Alex, who loves to eat chocolate, and she's always joking that she's got a chocolate addiction. She's like, keep me away from that Hershey's bar. I'm addicted to it, and it's really annoying. So I put her in the car and I drove her out to Hollywood, and I pointed out a crack addict, and I said, "You see that right there, honey? Why can't you be that skinny?" and she really responded to that. So, and here I am. So it couldn't have been that bad. Couldn't have been that bad. But thanks for making me do that.
Again.
We have to actually see you like break it down right here in the studio.
Break it down, just
Yeah,
freestyle a joke.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest pet peeve about being a comic is when you tell people you're a comedian, like tell me a joke right away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, you guys have seen my jokes are amazing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
still, when you're telling some girl at a bar, it always just falls flat, and they just look at you and they try to
yeah.
laugh, and it
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sucks.
It's
Hate
true.
that.
It's true. In fact, I get asked, "Oh, you must hear very funny jokes on your show. Can you tell me some of them?" And I'm like, "I always know it doesn't work." I go, "No, I can't."
You
it's
gotta
not to
watch
protect
the
comedians.
show.
No, not even that. But it's like I know if I repeat something, it's gonna just go.
Yeah. And you, plus, you don't seem like a very funny guy. So we're just
No,
kinda-
he's
yeah.
not. He
I'm
is.
more of a host.
It loses a little
You're a
something in
host?
translation.
What do you host?
The show.
Oh, this. Oh, okay. I thought it was just me up here kind of screwing around.
No,
That's cool. That's cool. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
He's trying.
I'm
He's
trying.
trying. We've
So-
done a couple of shows, but
Yeah, we don't have a few. So at this point now, are you basically trying to work out of town and stuff like that, or are you?
I'll be doing some colleges pretty soon.
Oh,
I just
cool.
need to get a couple more minutes together, and that's, I mean, great money and kind of smarter crowds. I like crowds that will really pay attention. You know, I'm not like a guy who's going to do the midnight show at some brothel. You know,
Right,
like
right,
a lot of comics will do.
people can't be too drunk when they're going
Yeah,
in there. They
yeah.
got to be somewhat coherent.
I need them to pay attention, and that's why college students are really the prime audience, because they're always looking for things to pay attention to.
Right,
You know,
right,
without
right.
getting too drunk.
Right.
So that's perfect. That's perfect.
Well, where does your sense of humor come from? I mean, what makes you write what you want to write?
Just kind of like I really enjoy comedy that kind of takes a chance, things that are edgier, and if it doesn't work all the time, great. But I don't like seeing the same old stuff. You know, I can't stand when people talk about Walmart, or people talk about what is it? What's the coffee house? Starbucks.
Oh.
If I go the rest of my life without hearing something about Starbucks, it's venti.
Yeah.
Why don't they just say large? I hate that. I hate that so much. So just anything. Every joke I tell, I want to do something that people haven't heard before.
Right.
And if I can do that, then great.
Now you're probably of draft age. If the war on terrorism expands and Uncle Sam calls you in to fight, are you going to do it?
I would probably be in the USO. I would do USO tours.
Entertain the troops.
Yeah, mostly the Iraqi troops, I think, because I think they need it a little more than the American troops do.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. I don't know if I was drafted. I don't know what would happen there.
We could still go after Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Sudan. All these countries got tons of terrorists. We could just go in there.
It depends on what they paid, to be honest with you. You know, if they paid pretty well, then maybe
The
I
money's
might.
right, you're there.
Yeah, I might go over to like Lebanon or something and do something on spec. You know,
there
just
you
to
go.
kind of kill a couple people and see what they think about that. You know,
See where it goes.
Yeah,
See if
and
you get picked up.
try to kill them in like a funny way. You know what I mean? Like exploding bananas or something. That would be. I think that's the future.
Well,
That's the way.
this whole war on terror is like a religious war, but you're not a religious person.
No.
You call yourself basically an atheist?
I was raised Catholic.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
and
a recovering Catholic, is what
Yeah,
I call myself.
exactly. And I remember just kind of maybe a couple years into it, just looking up and saying, "This is bullshit. I don't really buy any of this. It's kind of the same thing over and over again." My dad's really religious. My sisters are. They all went to kind of Catholic schools, Catholic universities. So when I go home, I go to church. But even then, I have a hard time not laughing in church.
So you just find it absurd.
I try not to knock it to people specifically. You know,
Right,
if you get something from that, then great. But I think it's pretty absurd. Yeah. Pretty absurd. So I kind
Well,
of.
what happens when you die? Are you gonna just not be?
Yeah.
Can you face that?
Yeah. I mean, when everybody dies, I don't think it's that big a deal. And if there is a heaven or hell, I'm probably going to hell. So it benefits me not to believe in it. You know?
Why would you go to hell? Don't they want comics in heaven? Don't they want to laugh?
I don't think they have any good comics in heaven. You know, it's like
It's all G-rated stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Bill Cosby will make it there, but other than that, actually, Bill Cosby though with all the kids, maybe he'd go to hell too.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope he's not watching this. Do you think that's possible?
Well,
Bill's tuning in.
Probably not.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
He may tune in from work tomorrow when he's sitting at his desk with nothing better to do in front of the computer.
This is more of an obscure internet archive that when you're famous, you will be, I don't know, suing us to have it deleted.
I see.
What is it, Jerry Seinfeld? Somebody taped his first show. Like he asked to have someone film it, his first comedy appearance ever, and he bombed.
Yeah.
Okay, but he wanted it like videotaped or something like that. Well, then he forgot all about the videotape, and years later it surfaced. And the guy, I think he still knew the guy, and the guy said, "Oh, let's release your first tape," and he said no, and the guy said, "Well, let's just release it anyway," and he sued to have it blocked. So
That's
nobody can
crazy.
see him. So like every time you see him, he's always funny. He's very protective of his image.
Oh, yeah.
That's strange. I wouldn't think he would do that. Like you saw the movie Comedian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he bombs in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
but
the time,
he's
it's-
really Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He's really
Yeah.
just huge.
Yeah. So I understand. I wouldn't want people to see my first tape that I ever did.
What was your first gig ever?
I had taken a class with a guy named Greg Dean.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Yeah. And took a class, and he kind of was very much story, like kind of corny punchlines and everything.
Right.
And I did a thing actually about being fired from Borders Books, And then my girlfriend burned down my apartment my senior year of college, and I didn't think about that.
Nice.
And that was it. And I actually killed my first night. It was at the Comedy Store Belly Room.
Right.
Like rocked it. Like did a great job.
Wow.
And then I thought, well, I understand stand-up comedy. I've got this thing licked. And I went like the next week to the Ice House to do a thing, and just ate it. Ate it so bad.
Your
and, like,
first tape was good if someone
Yeah,
taped it, you know?
exactly,
So it doesn't really
exactly,
matter. Yeah. Okay, what do you think about the human race? Are we just basically absurd? Just like these creatures that just appeared on this planet and we're just kind of, you know, hurtling around this sun and that's about it? There's nothing really much to it? What do you think?
You know, it's funny you ask that. People ask me that a lot.
Okay.
What do you think about the human race? And I'm pro-human race.
Yeah?
I'll go ahead and say. I think...
Wow. You're going out on a limb there.
Yeah. I'm totally for it. I think we should keep going. I don't know how good we are. I think we're probably pretty bad. You know, I mean, how can you say the human race is good when you see things like the Alex Duffy show and things like that? It's like where's it coming from?
Lose your faith in humanity after
Yeah,
watching
that's
something
great.
like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Well, I mean, when you see something like the Alex Duffy show, it's basically an outpouring of freedom of speech. And it shows that this freedom of speech even has its limits. And we be curbed at a certain point, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, when I'm talking about the human race, I mean, like, you're part of this whole thing, this planet, these people, and everything like that. Do you find it all just kind of crazy? There's no God, there's no meaning to it, or do you find a meaning to it?
I don't think there's that much meaning to it. I think it's just try to be happy and get through it as best you can.
Is it all about having a good time, though?
No.
No.
I don't think we're that much better than the animals. I can't believe I'm going into this, but just the point is just to reproduce and keep everything going. You know, and anything we want to do in between that is kind of up to us.
Right.
But the way we're going, you know, I mean, things go south pretty fast. So we'll see how much longer we're around. I think from my lifetime that we'll be all right. But anytime after that, it's up to them. I don't really care.
Yeah, that's true.
Run it into the ground.
You've done your time on the stage. And,
Exactly.
That's pretty much
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, totally. But good question. That's solid.
Yeah. We're trying to get to the inner comic here. You know? The inner comic. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, where do you want to play? Where do you want to travel around? Just everywhere?
Yeah, I'd like to be a little bit everywhere. I think my type of humor is not something that's going to play all across the country. I'm not like a Seinfeld guy or anything, but I think that I could get some sort of following. I really admire Stephen Wright for what he's done. You know, he's very, very kind of existential, absurd humor, but he's got fans everywhere, and he can just keep on touring and keep doing that. And eventually, I like to do that, but I think writing's where it's at.
I mean, do you want to live out of hotels? Is that kind of a lifestyle?
I wouldn't mind. I'm pretty sloppy. I'm a pretty messy guy. So if I could go just from
the whole
room
room
to
service
room,
idea's got some appeal to you.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't want to stay in the same place forever. I'd love to go back to Pittsburgh ultimately. I love Pittsburgh, but
you love Pittsburgh. What's so great about it?
I just grew up there. I love the town. I love the blue collar mentality. I love the Steelers. I love the Pirates. I love the Penguins. I'm all about Pittsburgh.
Isn't it part of it run down because of the whole steel industry, or is that's all? The economy there is just changed.
Part of it, yeah, it's kind of changing a little bit, but they still have U.S. Steel there. They've still got some things going, and they're kind of changing it over from the steel mills. Everyone thinks like in the 70s or 60s, the Smoky City, but it's totally past that. There's not a lot of mills there anymore.
Have you been abroad outside the country?
Yeah, I went to Germany for a couple of weeks after I graduated high school.
Did you meet other jeselniks there?
No, I didn't meet any of the jeselniks. I was like on a school trip, and I was staying with a family who I hated. So I had to just kind of basically drank my way through Germany.
Oh, that's fun.
If you ever get a chance to try German beer, drink a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very good.
What was the girlfriend burning down the apartment experience?
I was my senior year was like a Sunday morning. We were smoking a cigarette. I like to say cigarette, and she ashed it. Just didn't throw it, but just ashed it in the garbage can. And we left the room to go watch football. And like an hour later, it's just the house filled with smoke. Couldn't get into the room. Fire department came, put it all out, and just everything in my room was just ash, just gone.
Wow. Where was the comedy in that?
The comedy was in that I did not break up with my girlfriend after that. I stayed with her because I felt like that was the ultimate upper hand that you could ever get in a relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like
I slept with somebody, but you burned my house down.
Exactly. It's like you want to run a movie. She wants to get Steel Magnolias. No, we're getting Total Recall again.
You gotta do that anyway.
Yeah. So it was that was a fun thing to do. That was like comedy that you could like, it was true life or whatever. But after that, I pretty much had those two stories, that and Borders, and I was like, I'm pretty boring. I'm just going to write my own stuff.
Well, are you single now? For the ladies out there watching?
I am single now. For the lady out there watching, yeah, I am. I'm single, and I.
Are you one of those comics who goes up and says, "I'm single and it sucks," and goes to that whole dating thing in LA?
No, that's another one of those lame things that you see.
Dating in LA has been so done.
Yeah. And it's hard to meet women doing stand-up comedy. It's because if a girl sees you on stage, there's something just like not sexy about it. You know what I mean? So if I know a girl and she comes and sees me, then it's like a cool thing. Like, ooh, you did this.
Right.
It takes a lot of guts.
Right.
But if I just see a girl in the audience and I go to talk to her afterwards, it's like you were funny. And then so yeah, you can't do anything with that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, what other artists or people out there have influenced you in terms of what you do? I have a list.
Oh, he's got a list.
Hit me with a list.
The list I have is Michael O'Donoghue.
Michael O'Donoghue, big influence on me, like way after the fact. You know who Michael O'Donoghue was?
I do not know who he is.
He was the original head writer of Saturday Night Live, and like a very dark guy. He had a theory about comedy that every joke should have kind of what he called the double smile, which is like you want them laughing and also like their throats cut because it's so dark and it catches them off guard and they're just like taken aback by it, so it shocks them.
Right.
But they're laughing at it too. So it was kind of a more artistic comedy.
What happened to him? Where's he doing now?
He's dead.
He's
dead.
okay.
Hasn't done anything for several years, but it was very good.
He's no longer funny.
Yeah. But still very big influence. Even though
so you watched the early Saturday Night Live and were very influenced by that.
Yeah, when I was actually growing up and I discovered Saturday Night Live, it was kind of in that early '80s, like mid '80s, kind of when it kind of sucked.
Right.
But I still loved it. Just the things they could say and do were great to me. And when I watched the old stuff, I have to admit that even though you got those classic Belushi sketches and things like that, it's not that funny to me. I think humor changes so much that I watch that and just
also what's acceptable and what isn't. That's always kind of just moving along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about Jack Handy, another Saturday Night Live?
Jack Handy, I pretty much rip off Jack Handy with every joke that I do. Just when I would see him, things come across the screen on Saturday Night Live, that was always the funniest thing because you would never think that you could ever imagine coming up with that joke. It was just so great. So I mean, I have all of his books, and I just sit there and if I can't think of a joke, I just read his books until I think of something. And I think my stuff goes a little darker, a little less commercial. I'm going to go ahead and say, but no, Handy's a huge influence. Just the structure and just the short little burst of absurd humor is great.
And Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg, another very funny. I had never seen a lot of comics just go up on stage and kind of do what I do now, like just kind of telling the quick jokes. It's all kind of stories and longer bits about this, and you've got 10 jokes maybe about leaving the toilet seat up, But Mitch Hedberg's the guy who just comes in. It's just straight one-liners, really absurd humor. You're a big fan of his, right?
Oh, I think he's great, but I've never heard him before.
Yeah. He's very good. He's very good.
Now, let me ask you this. You're not part of the open mic world at all.
I'm a huge part of the open mic world.
Oh, you are?
I consider myself an open mic warrior. Like I do.
You have professional representation with Barbara, but you're still doing the open mic scene? No?
Barbara's not a very good manager. A little shout out.
Burn that bridge right now.
Yeah. No, she gets me a lot of stuff, but I just want to get the time together. And I started doing open mics. I think I did stand-up comedy for the first time about 2 years ago.
Right.
And then I was scared to go to the open mics. It's kind of intimidating, the people there I wasn't friends with, and everyone's I just didn't understand why they didn't think I was funny.
Right.
And then just kind of a switch flicked where I thought if I was going to do this, then I've got to go at the open mics.
Stage time, that's really what it's all
stage
about.
time. But now I feel like I'm part of that community, and now I go everywhere I can and just get up and
what is
do the 5
going
minutes.
to you go to the Unurban?
I go to the Unurban almost every Thursday. I was running an open mic at Amagi's on Wednesdays for a while, but I got out of that. The thing about
that was like the only open mic on a Wednesday.
Yeah. But the thing about doing an open mic, like hosting open mics, is you got to watch everybody, and there's some bad people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I did the open mic scene years ago, and the thing is, there's like about 5 funny people and about 20, 25 people who aren't, and you see them every time.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh, not that guy who's going to do that, that joke about having sex with one of the Go-Go's. It just makes you.
Scotty Barron, was that a Scotty Barron reference?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The same joke every time. And you're like, it's not funny.
Scotty Barron, people, maybe the viewer won't know this, but Scotty Barron has been doing it forever. Like when Adam Sandler was doing open mics, he was with him, and he's just crazy, just totally lost it. He's like 40 years old, and he still comes and does the same thing with the guitar, and he's got his cigars and everything.
Oh my
It's
god!
crazy.
Oh, so he's just basically nuts. That's
Nothing basic about it. He's nuts. He's nuts.
You did the
Thoroughly.
brewery on Tuesdays?
No, I'm against the brewery. I'm anti-brewery.
What happened with the brewery?
When I first started, it's like a very cliquey thing there where they pull names out. You take names out of the hat, and they only take their friends. And I went the first couple times. I was doing that, and I just was like, screw this.
I only went once because it's like 55 comics.
Yeah, it's a ton of comics.
Like, oh my
it's
God.
kind of died down a little bit. M-Bar has kind of stepped it up, and people go there instead. But I don't like the whole cliquey in jokes, kind of scene at open mics. So
what about the comedy store open mic? The one that they have to do the thing where you
terrible.
start at 2 in the morning. And
Terrible. It's terrible.
You do that whole thing?
I did it a couple times, and it's like 3 comics and then every homeless person.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Some of these people are really mentally ill. They really are from the street.
Oh yeah.
They're just
I mean, if you're doing comedy and you're 60, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Unless you're George Carlin.
Exactly. I mean, if you're at that point, but if you're doing open mics, then no, and that's terrible.
Maybe it's that. Maybe they do it to pass the time.
Probably.
What other open mics do you like? There's one in the Valley. I forgot what it is. I can't remember. The one that's on Saturday nights. And you have to pay $2 if you're going to perform or something.
Jennifer's?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Jennifer's actually, I just hosted the last Jennifer's open mic. I love Jennifer's. It's my favorite place to go when I first started because people would really listen to you.
No, it's not just comics either.
No, they have a couple musicians, but not a lot. Musician plays there once, they don't want to do it again.
Right.
But yeah, I love that place, and I think they had new ownership, and now they want to kind of take it down. So the last one was, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I hosted it because I wanted to kind of take it out big. And then they say they might bring it back next year, but who knows?
Are you doing it like 7 nights a week?
Yeah, I get on stage about 9 or 10 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I can do 2.
Does the open mics actually help you as a writer?
Yeah, I guess because it makes you keep coming up with that new joke. You know all these people, they've seen you before, and you can't really just do the same 5-minute set each time. So you've got to come up with new jokes.
Does it sharpen your timing and stuff like that too?
No, it does
Doesn't help
not.
at all.
It's because it's impossible to get those people to laugh, and you can. But it's,
well, I mean,
it's tough.
do you kind of blot out the people you've seen 90 times, and you know they're not going to be funny? You just don't think about it, because that's what used to that drove me crazy, was just seeing those same people who do the same terrible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're terrible, I mean, people can get better, but when a lot of these people are just terrible, and they're always going to be terrible, and I'm just an arrogant, cocky bastard, so I'll just shut them out and just kind of do my brilliant comedy. Which
is Suzanne out there still doing the thing? The one that goes, and then she doesn't do jokes, she just tells stories about what she did that day.
I don't know. There's definitely a lot of women who do that,
Yeah.
but I don't know Suzanne.
She could be any
like
one
at
of them.
every open mic. One of those people who are like, oh no, and she had to do her, and then she was hosting the that one that's on near Fairfax on Beverly. I forgot what it's called. It's a little coffee shop there, right across the street from like CBS Studios. Doesn't matter. Not important. Well, now we've gone to the open mic thing. Anything else that we've missed that we haven't talked about?
I think we've covered everything.
That is it.
We've covered everything.
We have covered everything.
Okay, is that the show?
That's it. The show's over.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, and you have a website coming up people can check out.
Yes, I do.
And you already have that little listing, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, my manager put it up for me, and she's got a thing where she wants to kind of make everything marketable and have a 3-word little bit there.
Oh, serious?
So, yeah.
Huh.
So she's got the website up. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a little bit.
But it is at
h2f.net.
h2f.net.
It's Anthony Jeselnik or Andy, if you want. AnthonyJeselnik.h2f.net. Maybe.
That's right. Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
Go ahead and Google Anthony Jeselnik, Jeselnik, and you'll find it. You'll find it.
You will find it, folks.
I got a great bio on there.
Oh yeah.
I'm really proud.
I got all my information from that bio.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe
Alex
it.
does his homework.
Yes. And then now when they Google you, they'll see this interview.
Oh my God.
It's going to be the first view of the inner comic.
I'm going to blow up. Blow up huge. Thank God.
Well, great. Well, are we ready?
I'm ready to go.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks so much, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing the show.
No problem, guys.
Yeah, cool.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see.
Except for when you're actually
We'll see you
here.
back next year, unless you're famous. Then you're just gonna you're gonna sue us.
You'll never see me again.
Okay.
Unless I need another free sauna.
He has a little toasty
This
here.
is great.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it is November 11th, 2003. The Alex Duffy Show. Good night.